From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where soon we will have a plethora of features for you. The Gavinator is working on them, but until we do, you can read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire and listen to the show live. Tonight's show is brought to you by the Mighty Moose Beard Oil Company. It's 100% Canadian, 100% natural, taking care of beards around the world. Visit MightyMooseBeard.com. Don't forget to use promo code SOR2019 today. Tonight we head to Australia, where we talk with author Bobbie Richardson about her ways of communicating with the other side. Bobbie has a new book coming out called Codes to a New Reality. Bobbie is a seer into other vibrations, contacted and given many messages about human potential and where it can all go if we do the inner work. And boy, do I need some inner work right now. She has been invited as a motivational speaker via radio and on stage to share these messages. Her website is BobbieRichardson.com.au, because the Aussies got to throw that A-U, not O-U, A-U on the end of everything. And at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Bobbie Richardson, it's been over a year since you've been on this show, but we're glad to have you back. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. I'm very excited to be chatting to you and to whoever else is listening. It's a great opportunity. Thank you very much.
Anytime. We love having you around here. And you and I get to actually chat a little bit during, when we're not on the air and on Facebook and on social media. And you're such a pleasant person. You're always happy and cheery. I don't know how you do it. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest. I may have a little bit of a case of the crankies today.
Honestly, I'm not always happy. I'm just the same as everybody else. I have my moments, but I have learnt to train my mind to get out of those moments a little bit quicker than others, I think, now. And I've been very, very fortunate to go on a journey with what I would call benevolent beings that led the way for me to learn how to control my mind a lot more. I still get emotional, and sometimes I just let it happen and I let it flow, and I can still get angry every now and then, but majority of the time I'm pretty happy. And even if I have had a bad moment, I only see it as a moment. I don't see it as a day like a lot of people see, or a year.
Oh, wow. You're so lucky and blessed for being able to do that, because I think the majority of us out there, myself included, we put so much weight on our shoulders that if we don't have a massage therapist and a chiropractor riding around with us, as well as a trailer full of ibuprofen, we are all messed up.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. But the journey that I was given was it was really important for me at the time, and I was pretty messed up to begin with as well, just like everybody else, trying to find my way in my life. The first, I'm not sure if I brought this up the last time in our chat, but the first time they really contacted me was in a car going to Akara. I come from New Zealand, and I was in a pretty negative headspace in that moment with my fiance at the time, and I heard in my mind just a subtle voice saying, just think positive, and it kept repeating that. And I thought, yeah, whatever. What's that going to make any difference to me? And I was like almost having this big discussion with this voice in my head, and it's going, well, what does it matter if you try? Because if you try, then no one else can hear what's going on in your head. So is it going to make any difference? And then when we get to Akara, pull up at just this random beach, same voice said to me, get out of the car, open the door, and just dig. And I'm like, okay, now I'm really feeling like I'm going crazy here. But there was no one else around, and it was a very random beach because my fiance was a photographer. So he just liked stopping at random places where there was no people. It wasn't a car park. It was just sand dunes. And I hopped out of the car and I dug where I just thought, okay, I'll just dig, whatever. And I dug up a solid gold bracelet with a gold heart. It was worth quite a few $100s. And I just went, wow, okay, maybe I should listen to this this subtle voice in my head. I think it's leading me somewhere that's, pretty good. And it took me a couple of years. This is way back. This is in when did I come here? 1998. So I'm saying 1996. And then, a couple of years, I started to really get the hang of. Now, I'm not saying that everyone should think positively all the time. That's just impossible. We're in a reality at the moment that has a lot going on, and it's kind of like accepting that negative state of mind within ourselves, but not letting it overtake us. And that's one of the big keys.
A lot of people have troubles finding that spiritual message, listening to that little inner voice that tries to guide you down the proper path. Why do you think so many of us on this planet have troubles hearing that voice?
Well, because part of ourselves has been shut down from eons ago, and this was done on purpose. This is what I was told. I can only come from what I was told. It was done on purpose because humanity had been given probably a bit too much power for where they were in the relation of the cosmos and the interdimensional spaces, and that we were like babies with matches. So the creator of who we are the creator, and the creator is us, decided to shut us down, and that was our intuitive right brain side, imaginative side, which allowed the perpetrators that came into our reality to do that actual job, and they're doing that job very well, as you know. And now it's time for them to leave, because we can take the reins and we can also teach them, so we can guide them into a more heart space, and they can get a bit more out of what we're learning as well, as we go down this road of waking up and taking our assertive reins back again. So.
I get that, but does it have anything to do with people kind of moving away from their own spirituality, moving away from religion, moving away from organized theology that may lead to, any type of spiritual growth?
Yeah, well, it is a choice at this moment, and some people will choose to, follow the reins of the protective people that have been a covenant of us or beings that have been covenant of us for a while now, for quite a few, thousands of years. So it's a journey. Some people just get it all of a sudden that it's not really the path they want to go on. And some people have decided this is really, I feel at this moment, a void of decision time. I think that you really need to make that decision now, whether you're going to do the inner journey, the inner work, and claim that power back, that magnificence that you are back, or whether you're going to follow, the path that's set before you as the dictatorship, the leadership that's dictating what you and controlling you of what you need to do. We've all been given the same opportunities. There's not one person that hasn't. So, and I firmly believe that. So it just depends on how many have decided to go which way. Yeah. There's no judgment in it either. No judgment whatsoever. Just your individual choice. And the more that do realize, the more it's going to be like a split. And I'm not exactly sure what will happen when that split happens, but I feel the ones that will go the right brainwave will all of a sudden say, for instance, see that UFOs are real, that we have benevolent beings trying to help us, that all of a sudden there's life on Venus. You know, our reality will start reflecting the parts of ourselves that we have been denying within ourselves. And those that are being controlled will go more down the road of probably the robotic side, where they're even more controlled, the microchips within their skin and stuff like that. They'll go more into that side of it. That's what I've been told.
Bobbie, how long have you been researching this? When did you start having your own experiences and knew this was going to be a life path for you?
Well, from a very early age, I saw things that others didn't see, and my mother did as well, but she didn't appreciate it and she shut it down on me. So it wasn't until I actually left home that all of a sudden this flood of visions and things that was trying to tell me things that I just didn't quite understand took hold in my 20s. And so it's been a journey. Then in my 30s, I decided, because I was having so many visions, I even saw my youngest daughter stand beside me before she was born, and she looks exactly like she does now. I've seen so many things. It's incredible. I've kind of lived two realities. And when I was 30, I decided to take the reins and chose to ask the questions that I wanted, instead of just allowing, like I was like a lighthouse with a light just flying around, and then everyone was coming towards me and telling me, giving me their messages, dead people, all sorts of different things were coming my way. So I needed to take the reins and take control of it. And when I did that, that's when everything started changing. The visions become less. And now they don't happen very much at all, but I've learned to trust that voice within myself of the messages that are coming through. I had a lot of premonition dreams, things that have come true. I knew when Steve Irwin had died months before and painted a picture of his heaven and things like that. I was visited by him. There was a lot going on at one stage. But yeah, so that's kind of been my journey, and I really appreciate it. I love it. A big part was meeting an elder that helped me, because when I decided to take the reins, I also asked for somebody of integrity to meet on this planet that could help me. And it was a month later I was introduced to an elder, a Cherokee elder called Grandmother Parisha Taylor. And she's been poo-pooed a bit on the internet, but she's an absolutely incredible lady, a lot of talent. And she took my hand and held my hand and talked to me telepathically, which then gave me the incentive to ask bigger questions. Okay, what is humanity's potential? Where are we actually going in this world? What can we actually do? And that's when things started really changing, because I started asking those big questions.
Bobbie Richardson is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We are talking spirituality, ghosts, paranormal, and everything else that kind of comes along with that. Bobbie, when you started realizing that this was your path, that this was the way your guides, your spirits, your ghostly friends were telling you to go, when did you decide that it was time to go public with it? How hard of a decision was that for you?
I was already lead singers in bands, and I was an artist. So it was just part of who I was. I was quite happy with an audience anyway. And the singing didn't give me that it didn't feel like it was needed anymore, so I stopped that quite a few years ago. And then I branched into being an author, illustrator, and I created the books for the children to open their imagination, because I felt that was important at that time. And then more and more valid messages were coming through, and I'm like, well, I really need to write some of this stuff down for adults too. But I just sort of stepped into it. People asked me, I think it was only a few years ago, three years ago, when somebody actually asked me to do a talk for the first time. And I wasn't really going to do anything unless the world was ready. I felt if my energy was at the right space, then it would just naturally happen. And it seems to be that way. So that I'm pushing it a bit more now, but I didn't to begin with. I just allowed it to evolve. And
there's always a concern, Bobbie, that, when you get into this whole line of spirituality, how will it affect your kids? I know that was one of the concerns I had when I decided to jump down the rabbit hole and, hit the woo train going at top speed right off the bat. You're pretty much the same way. So when you looked at this and you decided that this was your path, you were going to, have a family and bring your children into this type of realm, did you have any concerns with that? Did you have any concerns about what was going to happen with their experiences or what people would say about you?
No. Honestly, I never worried me. And it's never really affected me either, maybe because I didn't worry about it. My girls are, my eldest one is actually a scientist, and she's over in Sweden. She's gone a different way. She's not really into any of this very much, but she's still a very loving, caring, beautiful soul, and that's her path. And I just allow my children to be whatever they're supposed to be. I think that's extremely important. My middle child is she's very down to earth and caring. She can just chill out ADHD kids. She's just one of those kids you can sit somebody else next to and she's just chilled. And my youngest is like me and can see a lot, and she has a bit of a harder time because her natural self isn't accepted in this reality. So I've been working a lot with her to just help her accept herself, and that's all she needs to do. I feel very privileged that I've been given these messages, because it's actually helped me live in this reality more so than the other way around that you're suggesting. It's actually enhanced my life and my reality. The more I let go of trying to make things happen, and the more I just accept it within myself, the more things just reflect outside myself to be that way. I live in a beautiful home. I have a beautiful partner. I have beautiful kids. We're all very happy. I love my work at the moment. I can still have time to write my books. I have everything that I want in this reality to fulfill what I want to do. And that's all due to slowly working through all of my issues and my, the programming that was put on me as a child from schooling and being a sensitive child. And now I feel stronger than ever. And yet nothing seems to bother me that much, to tell you the truth. I don't really care what anyone else thinks of me, to tell you the honest truth, because I'm happy. So it doesn't really matter.
No, and that's a good place to be. But so many people who have these abilities, they struggle with it because they're worried about the public opinion. They're worried about what their friends will say, what their family will say. I know personally, because of something that I was asked to do, I lost my best friend of 28 years because he thought I all of a sudden went nuts. Right? It happens. It happens, and it's hard to.
Yes, sorry.
No, please, go ahead.
But even in those cases, maybe that friend wasn't in line with you anymore and he needed to move on. And that's just part of the story. And you then are opening yourself up to people that are more in line with who you are. Sometimes there's a space, a gap that you have to just sit and be happy, be sure that you're happy with yourself before it actually takes place in reality. But if you just keep going towards your happy space, you're going to end up bumping into beautiful, wonderful people anyway. I know it's sad to always let go of somebody that you feel is dear to you, but they'll come back if it's supposed to be. Just have faith. It sounds like I'm religious now, but I'm not actually.
We have about 2.5 minutes before we need to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Bobbie, in regards to the whole spiritual aspect, when you started learning that you could communicate with the other side, how much of a shock was that for you, that it wasn't just voices in your head, that it was actually voices from the deceased?
Well, some of them was voices from the deceased, and some of them was actual higher benevolent guidance, a lot of it. And I've also gone down the road, like a lot of people in my predicament, that's, I've had to deal with the negative beings as well. And that gave me the strength, because once I had that happened to me where I was attacked, I realized just how powerful I was, and I saw what happened to myself as a being to get rid of it. It's all part of the process. Sorry, I kind of lost my trail then. I started thinking I'm getting into negative beings. Stop. What was your question?
Well, just in regards to finally figuring out that you were actually communicating with spiritual entities.
Yeah. Well, it was something that's always happened to me, because I've always seen things when I was, even when I was little, I had my first vision of seeing things. It was more the process with me of, okay, what the frick is this? What's going on? Why is this happening to me? And I couldn't find the answers anywhere else. So I just went, I suppose I followed that guidance that I had in my 20s when I was led to the gold bracelet and how to get over hurdles and stuff. So I just kind of gradually went that way. I didn't have this all of a suddenness where, oh my God, I'm getting spiritual contact and I have to now reinvent myself. It just slowly happened for me. So I think it's just been part of my reality.
On that note, I'm going to get you to hold on right there, because we are going to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Bobbie Richardson is our guest tonight from all the way in the future, about 15 hours. She's in Australia, and she is going to get into ghosts, spirituality, communication with the other side. What is it like? I want to know. Well, actually, I already know. But I want all of you to know out there. Her website, BobbieRichardson.com.au. More Spaced Out Radio right after this. Hey, Spaced Out Radio listeners, it's Dave Scott. I want you to check out a great documentary I'm involved in called Beyond the Spectrum, Mosson's UFO Files. Directed by Darcy Weir, the film follows Jaime Mosson's journey for mainstream journalistic truth in ufology in Mexico. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon Prime. If you're a member, watch it free. It's worth the watch. Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology: Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters in the frozen Canadian tundra. Yeah, it's cold up here, darn cold. So cold, I'm in shorts right now. But nonetheless, I want to remind all of you that if you have missed portions of this show or others, you can always check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where you can read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. You can also listen to the show live. The Gavinator will have new features coming very, very soon. Tonight we are talking with author Bobbie Richardson, all the way down in Australia. Yes, it is tomorrow there. Apparently the Earth still continues tomorrow. For us here in North America, we are proud of that. Bobbie, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Yes. We were just talking during the break about, she was bragging about how her winter is still about 70-some degrees Fahrenheit, 23, 24 Celsius, 26 Celsius. And I said, come up to old Davy's cabin here for one day in winter. One day in winter.
I love that.
You would not know what to do in minus 20 degrees Celsius.
I honestly, I hate the cold. I get cold so easily. Like my fingers are cold now. But I would love to be in the snow. I'd love to go, for a holiday. It'd be awesome.
Well, I can honestly say that if you came up here during the snow, I would trip you. I would totally trip you in the snow. I'm that guy. Your better half may come after me, and my beautiful better half would probably say, "What are you doing, you jerk?" But I would do that. I would do that.
Oh, well, I'll just lie there and make snow angels.
There's something special about having your face slammed into about, a foot and a half of powdery snow. I love it. I love it.
Oh, my God, that sounds terrible. My nose would freeze off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to handle it. That's all right. That's why we'd have a big fire outside, warm you up.
Yeah, and that's what I'd love. We're having fires every night here. It's just so beautiful under the stars. I love that.
Hey, let's talk some ghosts here. What's it like to communicate with ghosts?
Well, honestly, the ghost thing for me, it was quite a few years ago now. I haven't had much to do with ghosts lately unless they really needed to contact me, because I did start getting into helping the dead pass and stuff like that. And then I decided my journey was more on the potential of mankind, and that meant that I needed to clear more of myself to be able to be more in line with benevolent beings. But In saying that, when I was contacting the ghosts and stuff like that, people that are passed over, they're pretty much the same as what they are when they're alive. It's just that if they just died, they're obviously, oh my God, what the heck is happening? And there can be a bit of a panic at the beginning. One of the biggest things that like I mentioned before was I met Steve Irwin just after he died. So what had happened was a few months before, about 6 months before, I had this incredible dream of being an eagle flying over this vast, beautiful land that had vivid colors. So it was like another reality. And there was a tree house. And as I walked up the tree house, there was a guy called Steve in the tree house. And then when I got to the top, he was sad looking out through this long window and watching all of the animals coming towards. There was buffaloes and there was bears and all different types of animals that are just walking on the moors. And I remember him being very, very sad, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. And I actually had a boyfriend that was called Stephen when I was in high school, so I thought maybe he had passed over or something. Now, it would have been about 2 weeks before he actually passed, and I woke up to a coffin next to my sliding door and Dad written on it, and a little girl that was like an angelic being with an arrow, a bow and arrow, shooting it at my heart. And I didn't get it at that time, but obviously Steve Irwin passed over, and he died of the what you would call the stingray, which people call the angelfish of the sea, angels of the sea, and it shot it through his heart. So I then realized, put two and two together, this dream that I'd had a few months previous, and the vision that I just had was of Steve Irwin, just letting me know that his journey had come to an end. And it would have been, I think, a week after or so, where he came to me. It was like a moth, very loud in my ear. And if you bring your hand up to your ear and wave it back and forth, there's like a wind that happens, and it was really loud in my right ear. And I'm like, okay, whoever this is has to back off. And it was a khaki-colored, I thought it was a moth, but it's probably a butterfly because it's transition. Butterflies mean transition, but khaki-colored being that he was always wearing khaki. And then this loud voice outside of myself says, Steve, your turn next. And then I knew that he was there, and we were chatting. And so we were talking about that he was like going around the sea going, wow, this is magnificent, not realizing that he had actually even passed. And I said to him, go back to the Australian Zoo and just chill there, because that's your home. It's where you feel most comfortable with. And apparently Terry Irwin's daughter, Bindi, said that she had a dream about the same night that I told him to go back, that she was woken up and she was led to a tree, and he was sitting under the tree, and she saw that he was okay after he had passed. And yeah, it was pretty incredible. I mean, during that time, in those few months, my cooking, I'm not into cooking, and I started cooking, and I found out later that he was into cooking. I just couldn't get his name out of my head. It can drive you a little crazy trying to work everything out. And that's why I decided, okay, maybe somebody else is more suited to helping the dead cross over, but I think I decided to focus on the potential of mankind and leading that way instead, so I can get as many messages across of our potential. Yeah.
How do you know it's not imagination that you're hearing this? Your mind making it up. It's
loud. It's for real. It's not. I could feel it. I could feel the wind. I've had people come up to me that have passed over, and I can see them. So I know it's not. And I'll wake up my husband at the time and say, can you see that? And they can't see it, but I can still see them. So to me, it's as real as you sitting next to me. And I can hear them. If you've ever seen the program Alison Dubois from Medium, it's very similar to that. And so you can't deny something that's so real. And especially when, not so much the dead people, but especially when benevolent beings have guided me in certain ways, and it has worked. It has worked for my mind. I've tried it out. I've sat on a field and thought, if I am a creator of my reality at every given moment, and they had taught me how to steal my mind, then I can sit on this field and not look at anything but just close my eyes and pick a blade of grass, and it will be a four-leaf clover. And I look down on my fingers, and here's this four-leaf frickin' clover, and I'm realizing, oh my God, this is real. These things, if they happen to you, like, I can understand why other people can't get it. I get that. But if it happens to you for real, then you can't deny that either, because it's led me to a beautiful place and a beautiful space in my head. So why would I want to deny something that's done that for me?
Have you ever had the situation?
I can't see it as crazy.
Yeah. Have you ever had the situation, Bobbie? Bobbie, have you ever had the situation where you have had to maybe just go up to a stranger or somebody that you knew and just say, look, I don't mean to butt in. I don't mean to barge or be uncomfortable. I know you don't know me, but I have Uncle Steve hanging out here right now, and he wants to tell you something, that your keys are under the recliner or something along those lines.
Yeah, I've had that happen. Somebody that I'd known but didn't know very well, her partner had passed over, and I was at this. I remember knowing that I had to have a chat to this lady, but I didn't know how to approach the subject with her. And I just decided, look, if it's meant to happen, then we will get together somehow. And I just put my picnic blanket down on the field. There's quite a few people. This is in Crystal Waters. Crystal Waters is a bit of a hippie community where they're living off the grid. This is back in my Mulaney days where I was with all the artists and stuff. I'm now back in mainstream society now. But I just put my blanket on the ground, and I just happened to put my blanket right next to hers, and I did not know it was her blanket at all. So we ended up chatting. And so I ended up just saying to her, look, I do have a message for you. This is it. And she was so grateful. So I've done that quite a few times. If I really feel it's kind of like it's a pull that you can't let go of. And I'll just say to myself, I am going to let it go, because if it's meant to be and I'm really supposed to say this, then the opportunity will arise properly. I won't force anything of that kind. Just allow it to flow.
So what's that like when what's the reaction like when you all of a sudden go up to a stranger and say, oh, by the way, you and I need to have a chat? And they're like, well, who the hell are you? And how do you know my grandmother's name, or, my Uncle Steve's business, or whatever it may be? I mean, that's an awkward, uncomfortable couple of minutes there. Yeah.
It's really weird. I've never had a bad encounter with anybody on that. I think maybe my confidence with who I am of some kind, and people just seem to be fine with the messages I've given. I know how far I can go. I can feel it off people if they're not receptive or not. So if they're not receptive, I'm only going to say so much, and I'll say it in a way that doesn't sound like it comes from a dead person. I'll just allow them to let them know that there's something going on, or maybe they should look towards this or whatever it is. But yeah, so far, and I'm pretty sure in the future, I've never really had any issues with that. And it hasn't happened to me quite as often as other people because my focus got led away from that and more into the benevolent beings and that sort of help. And we're talking quite a few years ago as well.
Mm-hmm. So when you get somebody who comes up to you spirit-wise and says, hey, I want you to get a hold of my mother, or I want you to get a hold of my wife or my husband or my partner or my children, whatever it may be, I want you to get a hold of my dog.
Mm.
What kind of conversation do you have with those on the other side to say, okay, why do you want me to do this? Do you put them through a 20 questions thing, or do you just go do it?
No, I'll just say to the person, look, if something comes through. I'm not going to, if I'm meant to, usually I'll have a dream about it, and then I'll wake up with this incredible pull to give them a call. And yeah, I just work it that way. I don't lie there and go, okay, I want to contact. Actually, my partner wants to know a couple of questions from his mother, and she passed with a secret. But she's the sort of person that would say that apparently just to get attention. So I've not got that secret. I said if it's supposed to happen, and it will come through, and it hasn't. So it's not something that I can help them with. Yeah, I'm not afraid to say I don't have the answers, and I think that's a good thing to be able to say that, because if they come through, they come through. If they don't, they don't.
No, I understand that, and I can appreciate that. But have you ever been hounded by a spirit saying, look, you got to get a hold of my husband because he's got to sign the paperwork. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to collect on the life insurance or something along those lines?
I've not had that so intense experience. I've more had people have passed over that are like, for instance, I've had a phone call from the dead. That was really interesting, where a girlfriend and I were putting together a business called Remember Me, and it was an online business for people who had passed over, and they could then connect. This is years ago when the internet was just, fairly new. Connect and send memorable poetry and stuff, or pictures of them to other side of the world people, and light candles and stuff. And we had a customer that came through, and I woke up to, now this is where it can get confusing. I woke up to him showing me a bottle of pills, and the pills had yellow and white, like capsules, and it was in a brown bottle, and then he's taking them, and I thought, oh my God, that's how he died. So this lady, I said, I had a vision of your son that had passed, and did he take pills? No, he didn't take pills. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then I found out that the message was more to do with her. She had those pills. She had the brown bottle. She had the same color pills that I got, and he didn't like that she was taking them. And he was trying to say they didn't want her to take them anymore. It was antidepressant pills of some kind. So that's where that led. But yeah, funnily enough, we were waiting for her to message us back for the business, and the phone rang, and when I picked it up, there was this answer machine. It said, you have one new message, because we were waiting for this message on the internet. But it's the phone going, you have one new message. And I'm like, okay. And it said, press 5. And when I pressed 5, it was just a static sound. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Because you don't answer the phone and have your an answer machine saying you have one new message. That doesn't happen, right? I put down the phone and I thought maybe we get a message from his mother to say that she's, joining in with this business thing that we've put up. And sure enough, I just checked the email. Sure enough, straight after that phone call, the email was there from her saying that, yes, she was going to join in. So that has happened. It's been an interesting journey, but that's only... Honestly, the dead people side of things, it's a very small part to what the information that I have been received. And there's a lot more to my life than that.
In regards to the way that the spirits communicate with you, you mentioned that you feel a lot, you see a lot, you hear a lot. For the person who doesn't know what that's like, how do you explain that to someone who is not fully comprehending what you're trying to do to explain how this is real comparatively to a dream or imagination?
Well, I actually wake up and see those people, or I'll see them beside me. I saw my daughter before she was born beside me. I saw that person had passed over. I've been shown things that others can't see, but I can see it. It's just like seeing you. I don't know how else to describe it. Sometimes those things will fade into the background, and sometimes they actually physically leave. I've seen UFOs and extraterrestrials, and I've had profound messages from beings. I've asked the question of our true history, and with that question, ended up with, over the space of 10 years, 4 different beings coming to me to give me their side or their version of our true history. And I've patched together things. I'm sure that there's people out there that have even more information on our true history, but the stuff that I was led to was very profound, and I realized how magnificent we are as humans because of our breeding with different beings to get us to this stage. And so I can't really describe it any more than the fact that I actually wake up and see these things, and they interact with me. So I can't say anything more. And when I'm saying I hear something, that means it's not in my head, it's outside myself, very loud. But the hearing side didn't happen as much as I mainly see things. I do get that subtle voice in my head, like I told you about the gold bracelet that I found. And I think that was so that they can communicate with me without having to see things and have these, because I'll wake up and get a fright. Sometimes I'd wake up and get a fright. Even if it was a benevolent being, I've woken up and seen in the night sky stars do some sort of spiral dance, of a DNA dance, and then just after that had a bright white being light up my whole room. And I got a fright from that. Well, they're not going to be able to hold their vibration, and I definitely didn't hold mine. So there was no interaction, just I saw it for a moment and then it disappeared. And it depends if you're in that same vibrational match with them as well. I've come home one day and had a mushroom that was glowing underneath my steps, and I went, oh my God, if I've got a glowing mushroom under my stairs that's growing, I'm in for a big night. I could feel that something was going to happen.
Right.
And then,
Bobbie, I'm going to get you to hold on right there, because we're going to go to break at the top of the hour. Author Bobbie Richardson is our guest tonight. Her website, BobbieRichardson.com.au. We're going to have more ghost stories, what it's like to live a haunted life, right after this on Spaced Out Radio.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot THAL. Come tune in to SOR, where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com, where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com, and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
Canada's largest UFO conference is ready to roll in Toronto this September 21st and 22nd at the Alien Cosmic Expo. This year is about the experience. Listen to the stories of Dave Scott, Travis Walton, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Ryan Stacey, Richard Dolan, Leslie Mitchell-Clark, and more. Get your tickets now at aliencosmicexpo.com. Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new, with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Hey fans, it's Dave Scott. Do I have something for you to check out? A great documentary about legendary Mexican investigative journalist Jaime Maussan and his search for the truth about UFOs. Beyond the Spectrum, Maussan's UFO files can be found on Amazon Prime. It's free to watch if you're a member. You might even hear me in it. So check out Beyond the Spectrum, only on Amazon Prime. The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacey, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We also want to say thanks to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates in Dangerfield, Texas, KDNF AM 1560, KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, WQEE 99.1 FM in Newnan, Georgia, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans. On the digital side, hi to everyone listening in on the Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. Good to have you with us. Remember, all of our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Uranophobia. Uranophobia is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where you can read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. You can also listen to the show live. Soon, we will have more features as the Gavinator is building the site. Author Bobbie Richardson is with us tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We are talking about ghosts, communication with the other side. Her website, BobbieRichardson.com.au. If you want to check it on out, you can find her books there as well. Bobbie, welcome back to the show.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Hi. I'm good.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. Bobbie, when you were communicating with the other side,
Mm.
Do you have control of it? Do you have the ability to say, hey, I'm going to bed, or I'm taking a shower, or I'm having company over. I don't need you bothering me right now. Or are they just always around?
They're not always around. They're not, yeah. It was years ago when they were around me a lot. I've learned to take the reins and say what I want. So I ask the questions that I want now, and I get those answers. If there's something important that they need to tell me, then of course it's going to be told to me. And a lot of it is, some of it is done in dreams, not just seeing them in front of me as well. So, yeah, but I've learned to take the reins and have higher purpose for us. I think that we all have a choice to experience things or not. Like my mum didn't like it and she shut it down. So I don't know if she sees so much now, but for a while there she definitely didn't. Yeah, you do have a certain amount of control if you want to deny it. But I feel there's an importance, there's a reason why I was given that gift, and I was going to see it as a gift, not as a crazy thing that most people see things like that as. It wasn't, I didn't care if, I honestly don't care if I become famous, wealthy or whatever from it. I'm just happy to be able to improve myself from it. And now that I've found a way of doing that, I've improved other people as well. So yeah, that's how I go flow with it all.
Do you find that you are able to communicate with more than just the spirits of humans?
Definitely, yeah.
Like, have you communicated with animals that have passed on? Have you communicated with alien beings?
Yes, definitely aliens, benevolent beings, people, beings from different frequencies. That's more what I'm into now than the deceased. Yeah, because there's more, you can gain a lot more information and knowledge for humanity, and I find that's really important at this time in our reality at the moment, on how we can actually shift our reality to what we want rather than what we don't want.
Okay, so what's it like to communicate with extraterrestrials?
Each one has a different feeling, a different vibration. Each being, breed of being. I've had communication with the Lyrans. The Lyrans were more of I'll give you this information, you give me something of yours, kind of thing that happened. Then there was Pleiadians, which are a lot more gentler, and Arcturians, which came more in dreams as spirit balls, and then showed themselves as beings. The Pleiadians were, when they came to me, they put their forehead on my forehead and chanted. I know it started with Ra, and there was certain vibrations going through my body, and then they would turn their head and speak in their language, and then it's kind of like a language between an Elven Celtic language and Egyptian language, and then they would put their forehead back on my forehead and chant again, and when this was happening, my whole body was just literally vibrating, like it was really vibrating. And then they gave me powerful messages in their side of the story of humanity's history. Then I was, because this was all to do with the true history of ourselves. So I had the Pleiadians, the Lyrans, and I had the Anunnaki. That was extremely powerful. 2008, I had my whole window imploded in, and these 4 angelic beings on horses came galloping around my bedroom above me. And it was such a loud explosion. I saw the shards of glass coming in on the room and everything. And of course I sat up and went, wow, what the heck? And my partner leapt out of bed, and I said something, but it was subliminal. I didn't remember what I'd said. It just came out of my mouth. I had a band full of angels is coming after me in my mind. There's a song that's got a band full of angels coming after me. Anyway, I didn't know anything about Anunnaki. I knew nothing. I hardly even really went into angelic beings or anything like that. It's just me being an ordinary housewife person, with kids to look after, and these things were happening. So it makes you sit up and take notice. And apparently what I had said was, they're coming soon, not just yet. I've been waiting for this one. And that was in 2008. Now, 2013, it was 13 and 14. Anyway, I had another experience where I actually saw an orange UFO outside my bedroom window, and the next morning someone had said, did anyone else see that orange UFO out, around Mullaney area? And I'm like, yeah, I did. And it was just hovering outside my window, and I had all these messages of 444 coming at me, and I knew that it was a big message coming. I knew that something was happening, and on my phone, and the next morning on my phone as a text message was, they have arrived. And then that night I woke up to 4 massive beings, 8-9 foot tall. I was lucky I had a really tall ceiling in that house. It was a very old house that stood in front of me, and they were cloaked. I couldn't see their faces. I could see their hair was dark and like a wavy hair, and they were extremely, very powerful. But I knew not to be afraid. I knew that was important. And I had a light switch next to me, and I knew if I got myself, because I feel that my brain will go into an alpha state or a theta state, and I can flick that out and come back into the beta state. If I turn on a light, then in my reality they will disappear. So I'm like thinking, I need to get to a light because this is just too much. There's 4 massive beings in my room, and for some weird reason I'd forgotten about my light switch right next to me, which is crazy, right? I knew I had to go through them to get to the big light switch on the other side of the wall. And so I just said, excuse me. So I'm going through these beings to get to my light switch. And then they started coming to me in dreams, but they would, when they were putting information, giving me information, I would wake up feeling paralyzed. So I asked them to stop doing that, but they said that if they didn't do that, they were too powerful for me to converse with them, because if they came in my dream and just said hello to me, it sounded like this massive booming hello. Just them saying hello was overwhelming. So that's why they would rather kind of knock me out and give me a download, and then I would wake up with more information of, not straight away, it would come later of when the time was right, of what was going to happen. So that was extremely powerful with the Anunnaki. That was the Anunnaki. And obviously I have had communication with the reptilian race, because they were part of our history as well. So there was the reptilians, the Palladians, the Lyrans, and the Anunnaki. And the reptilians actually just helped me in the end, because they went to attack me to try to keep me under control. This is right at the very beginning. after asking this question I wanted to know more about our history. And when they attacked me, they wrapped their arm around, tried to put 2 pills in me, and I remember piercing my lips. I could feel this thing was there. It was just like it was there, trying to wrap his arm around my neck, trying to push these pills in me. And there's a strange calmness that came over me, and I just knew 100% that I was going to get out of this. I didn't know how I was going to get out of it, but I would. And when I had that feeling, this light between my heart and my sacral chakra just burst out of my chest like a powerful light, and obviously raised my energy. I think all of my chakras just went into one big ball or something and exploded out of my chest, and then it raised my vibration out of the vibration of the lower density of the reptilians. But I needed that to realize how powerful I was, that I didn't need to fear them. Excuse me. I didn't need to fear them anymore. And so, if anything, they're afraid of me. That's how I see it.
The vibration that people claim to have when they are in touch with ETs comparatively to the spiritual world is like night and day. The spiritual world often feels heavy on the shoulders, headaches, a little bit more down and out, whereas the extraterrestrial type energy always seems to be of a very much higher vibration and frequency that people talk about. It's like feeling of like you're on a path to euphoria. Have you felt that as well?
Oh, yeah. The higher benevolent beings, the Palladians, the Arcturians, they gave me a more euphoric, even the Anunnaki gave me a feeling of power. But different. But yeah, euphoria. I've also been shown our potential of what Earth can look like. I've had a dream that was so specific, and I felt my mind was completely clear in this dream. When I woke up from being in that reality, I wanted to keep that there, so I started painting the dream because I wanted to keep that feeling alive as long as possible. So I knew where I was going. That gave me my focus of where I'm going to. And that's why I've now my 6th YouTube video that I've done. I'm going to be doing quite a few of these series following the Coast of the New Reality book. I was given a great story of a girl in the future in 2082 thinking about how far humanity had come and what we can achieve if we get to 2082 and clear our minds again and take our power back. And it is a most beautiful place that we can of what we can achieve, and that's where my main goal is now, to lead people to that space so that we can get out of the controlled system that we're in now.
That vibration that you feel from extraterrestrials, does it always come in a positive manner? Whereas, like, I know when I've been around spirits that are, say, down, more aggressive, angry, demonic, shall we say, you can feel that negative type energy.
Definitely.
Do you feel that with ETs, or is it all more of a higher vibration?
Some extraterrestrials have both. They have problems just as much as we do. It's just in a different. It depends what vibration they're coming from. If they're coming from a higher reality existence, then it's going to be euphoric. If it's about at our level, then there can easily be that, they're pushy or want something or that sort of feeling. It depends who they are and what they're coming from, and I believe that just like in humanity, there's good and bad in everything. I don't think that there's all negative. I don't believe there's all negative reptilians. It's just that the ones that are in charge with are just trying to hold on to what they're doing and trying to control us at the moment. But they're not all negative. There are positive. There's even reptilians that have chosen the path to become, better beings, and they can even give you a nice feeling. So, I think you just got to learn to trust, and that was a big thing for me, to learn to trust myself and decipher the truth and the vibrations that were coming at me. And yes, there can be those that deceive, and yes, you can get tricked up, but that's why I always ask if there is a message coming my way for it to be given to me 3 times. And that's in, I think, my 3rd or 4th video, how to decipher the truth. I wait for 3 or 4 times before that message is, okay, now you've got my attention, because I trust myself a lot more now, but that's a good way of feeling into something. And you don't need to. I've also had humans that are alive that have astral traveled to me and tried to, become closer to me. And I just sit up and go, nah, you don't do that. You don't try to get closer to me without asking my permission. So, there's good and bad in everything.
Have all your experiences with extraterrestrials been on a spiritual realm, or have you come into face-to-face contact?
I definitely come into face-to-face contact with the Anunnaki. I definitely did. The thing is, because they reside in a certain vibration, I think what happens is my vibration lifts up to their, well, at least halfway up to theirs, and then if my mind is in an alpha state or a theta state, then it's easy to see for me who they are. And then because we're living in different vibrations, more so than there's extraterrestrials out there. There's planets that are let's put it this way. In our dimension, we hardly see anybody. And our dimension is a 3rd dimension. There's hardly anyone here. If you raise your vibration up to the 5th dimension, all of a sudden you're going to see planets with a lot of beings, because there's a lot residing in the 5th dimension. So if we start raising our vibration up, all of a sudden we'll say, oh my God, there actually are beings on Venus. We're all living in these different vibrational states of awareness. And in the 3rd dimension that we're in, and we are now flipping into that 5th dimension, or even further, wherever you want to go. But as we're raising our vibration, we're starting to now see our reality is, they are bringing out that UFOs are real. But the problem is the ones that are trying to control us are trying to match that vibration toe to toe. So as our telepathy becomes more so, and more children are born with that ability, the mobile phone is now on par with that. So then we end up having our focus on mobile phones instead of our focus on our natural ability to be telepathic. Does that make sense?
It does. I think a lot of people have a hard time understanding, though, as we got about 45 seconds left before we go to break, that this is potential reality.
Yes. We have the ability, everything that's outside of us can be reflected with inside of ourselves if we clear our mind. Everything that they start discovering, we can do within ourselves. So if you start seeing something outside yourself, like, they discover that we can stay young, or they discover that we can teleport, we can do that without the actual outside interference, which can be controlled. If we do it outside of ourselves and have some object that we're using, we can be controlled. If we do it inside ourselves, we can't be controlled. And that's where I want to lead people to, clearing their mind enough to realize that they can go down a different path. And it might not be maybe our generation, but the generation that's coming up. There's a lot more out there. Yeah.
Bobbie, I'm going to get you to hold on right there. We're going to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Author Bobbie Richardson communication with spirits, extraterrestrial, animals, flowers, and even radio show hosts. Coming up on Spaced Out Radio. Hey, Spaced Out Radio listeners, it's Dave Scott. I want you to check out a great documentary I'm involved in called Beyond the Spectrum, Mosson's UFO Files. Directed by Darcy Weir, the film follows Jaime Mosson's journey for mainstream journalistic truth in ufology in Mexico. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon Prime. If you're a member, watch it free. It's worth the watch.
Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you will be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Go. We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us on this hump day. I want to remind you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, you could always go to our YouTube channel and catch up at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. All of our archives are free. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we are soon going to have a plethora of features for you. You can also read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire and listen to the show live. Tonight we are talking with author Bobbie Richardson. Her books can be found at bobbiericardson.com.au. If you want to check out her website, I suggest you do.
That's a Bobbie with a Bobbie.
Yeah, she's one of them Bobbies with an IE.
An IE, Bobbie.
Yeah. Yeah, she's one of them people. You could trust one of them. We also want to give a shout out to Gene in D.C. Gene in Washington, D.C. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for tuning in. Give us a call sometime, will you? Will you, Gene? But anyways, we're moving on here. Moving on as we're going to continue our chat. Right before the break, we were talking about, communicating with extraterrestrials, animals, dead flowers, rock stars like Keith Richards. How are they still alive? What kind of world are we leaving for Keith Richards in the future? That kind of thing. That's what we're talking about. Question from Heather, right off the bat. Heather is asking, is the vibrations you are feeling similar to ghost and entity vibrations?
When I talk to the extraterrestrials, is that what she's meaning? Or
I would assume so, yes.
Usually the ghosts are more confused. Vibrationally, it does feel subtle. It does feel different. The extraterrestrials, when they come through, I could tell that they're not ghosts. Let's put it that way. hard to describe a vibration. I mean, it's something you feel, so to describe it is a little tricky. But yeah, the extraterrestrials are definitely different to the people who have passed over. Yeah, that's all I could really say. Sorry.
In regards to the communication that you were having and the feeling that you get from it, when you are in contact with extraterrestrials, do they take you?
I have only small recollections of that sort of thing. There are people out there I know that it can completely remember everything, but I can only remember being jolted back into my body, and things like that. Not so much actually physically taken. I think more that astral travel-y taken kind of thing. I'm not sure, to tell you the honest truth, if I have been physically taken, because the extraterrestrial thing started 1974, I think it was, when I saw my first UFO outside my bedroom window. And when that happened, it was a bright orange ball, and I was lying in bed and I was petrified when I realized, because I was staring at it for a while and I thought it was like a traffic light or something, because we had a motorway close. But then I looked up and realized it's way too high to be a traffic light and way too big, but it was as big as a traffic light. And then it just shot away really fast, and I freaked out. And I remember not moving an inch in my bed. Then when I was really scared, I had my father come into my room and sit on my bed and hold my hand. And my dad never came into my bedroom that night. He never did before, and he never did after. So he never came into my room. So that definitely wasn't my father that came in and held my hand to try to calm me down. And then I was found months later on the roof of our house. And I was running backwards, apparently, with my hands up in the air. And when I look at that roof, there's no way I could be running backwards. I couldn't even walk on the blooming thing because it was too steep. So I freaked the crap out of my mother. She was not happy at all. Yeah, so I've had experiences since I was a kid, and probably taken. I think that I only remember what I can remember, because maybe it would freak me out too much. I'm not really sure. I've seen a lot of stuff, but yeah, I'm not really sure about that one.
Eliza in the chat room, actually it's Alyssa, I just like calling her Eliza. She is asking, have you ever had to battle with non-human entities or ET beings? If so, give us a story.
The one with the reptilian was a definite battle. I've actually got it up on YouTube because I wanted to help people realize that they can actually get themselves out of such a predicament. But we were there was years and years ago, I'm talking 20 years ago, and I was delving with my friend in the Ouija board. That's not a good idea at all. And it was at her place. I was downstairs. I saw something come. It was like a object that it had oozed out of, and it just formed into this being in front of me, and it shuffled its way towards me. I sat up, and I said to it, "Don't come any further. I don't trust you." But you know, when you blink, it's further, it's closer. It's like a blooming horror movie. And it smelled bad. I remember it stunk. And that's when I told you before about it tried to wrap its arm around me and put the pill on me and that sort of thing. I've had that. I've woken up once with a few extraterrestrials trying to get at me at once, and I jumped out of bed, and actually the one and only time I've actually hurt myself and grazed my knee. So, yeah, I have had the odd attempt to try to lower my vibration, but they don't come near me now. I can certainly sense them around other people that are, if they're trying to get at them and control them. But, yeah, not anymore.
How do you handle the negative side of everything?
Well, I've been taught how to train my mind to, I've been taught to use a default program within my mind. And that default is you just choose anything that you can easily think of that you love. And so I chose at the first a fluffy duck that crossed the road, something like that. And if I saw a fluffy duckling in my head, that was my default program. So if I started feeling something negative coming towards me, I would train my mind to think something else and get out of that, bringing it into me even more, because our thoughts and our vibration of who we are will bring what is around us into us, and into our reality. So if you can get your head space back into a more controlled scenario where you're not allowing somebody to dictate in your head what's going to happen next, then you can push through and get out of it. Yeah.
All right. Let me ask you this in regards to the beings that you were in contact with. Is there a way that you can tell whether or not they're going to take you on a journey, whether or not they're going to download information into you? Because that's one of the things that has confused me throughout even my personal contact is I don't know what the hell is happening. It just seems to happen.
Yeah. Sometimes things have happened to me and I haven't really pieced together what's going on until a few weeks later or a month or so later. And then it's just like all falls into place. But I always ask for the truth of what's going on. I don't like being pushed around or, you know, someone else controlling me in a manner that they want. So I've just been assertive with who I am and say I say what I can handle. And I always ask for the truth of what the story is about. So that's where I get led to. Sometimes I'm afraid when it happens, and then I find out later that it had to be that way. It had to happen that way. So I just have a lot of faith and trust that I am actually in control as much as what I possibly can be.
All right.
Yeah.
Questions coming in from the audience. Renee in New Zealand. She has an American accent, by the way.
Oh, that's cool. I'm from New Zealand.
She is asking, have you ever met up with Hat Man or Gritting Man, shadow people, not entities that appear in a shadow form, but the nasty ones?
Okay, I've seen shadow people, but I didn't see them as nasty ones. I saw it as more my vibration is slowly going into another vibration, and it's like only seeing the shadow of that vibration. So, for instance, I was walking through a forest, and a friend of mine said there's a porthole in between these two massive rose gum trees. And I suppose I just believed him. And so when I walked through, I looked down and my next step was very slow motion, like in a movie, slow motion. And when I looked up, I saw a being that was in shadow, like a silhouette kind of hazy being of about 2-3 foot tall, probably only 2.5 foot tall, behind a tree. And then he realized that I could see, partially see him, and ran straight across the path and then zigzagged through the forest really fast. Now I know that my vibration was, my mind had sped up to see him and his vibration in the forest. But, but I haven't had like really nasty ones that I think she's talking about.
All right, let's get to PBR's question, who is asking if you have had any interaction with the old hag.
The old hag I've had in dreams, like a witch, kind of a feeling, mystical, wise person. That's how I saw it. And I feel that she was more of a doorway within my mind, opening me up to mystical stuff, different things that I wasn't used to at that time. So she entered my dreams to guide me for a while. That's how I see the old hag.
Scary times. Last time
it didn't worry me.
Last time I saw the old hag was a couple of years ago at my daughter's graduation, where she said, "Come take a picture with Grandma," and I was like, "Oh."
But it is to do with perception of things. Like if you're afraid of things, then it's going to seem scary. I totally understand that. If you're not afraid of things, there's probably a lot more possibilities of learning a lot more about yourself. I've learned to face the demons within myself through the guidance that I've had. I've been really lucky. And so I don't get so afraid anymore of those scary ones.
All right, let's move on to another question here. So we got about 6.5 minutes before we go to break at the top of the hour. And Julian is asking, is it possible a reptilian is not aware that it is reptilian?
I think that there's people that are more DNA, have more DNA of a reptilian within them, and they probably wouldn't be aware of that. We all have reptilian side to us because we have a reptilian brain. And that's the logical point. That's the logical side of ourselves that keeps us in this reality so that we can move through this story. But the only problem is that side of ourselves is taken over and controlled everything. So there are people out there that are more reptilians, in their agendas of things, and I'm sure there's reptilians out there that know exactly what they're doing, and have a lot of control over things. But I'd say a mixture of both.
All right. Let's continue on here. Renee is asking if you've ever ran into any black-eyed children.
I've not ran into any black-eyed children, no. I don't. I've not had them yet. So
do you think
maybe never will.
They exist?
I would say more than likely they're hybrids of possibly the greys. That's the only. I'm only guessing though. As an intuitive guess of mine. If I feel into it, then they're probably possibly hybrids.
Yeah, they're a weird bunch. It's kind of funny she brings that up because I'm actually wearing my Black-Eyed Children T-shirt from David Weatherly that I have right now. So, I mean, that's kind of interesting that it came up tonight. I didn't expect that to, but there's so many different. When you start traveling into the different dimensions and you start getting into those ethereal realms, for a lot of people out there that are quite skeptical, they have a tough time believing that this is real.
Mm-hmm.
How far does this go? How far can we reach out as mortal humans?
Well, if you think about it, we all come from nothing, if you want to see it that way, and then we die. I mean, come on. To me, that's extremely limiting thinking, to think that nothing exists outside of this little life. So I would just ask, if someone was that skeptical, maybe just open the door a little bit to the fact that things can happen. There's been a lot of things happening on the earth that are pretty out there. And if you start following, like you say, coincidences and things, you start opening more doors to the fact that these things are, there's something trying to show you something. Yeah. We're all just kind of struggling a little bit with being human, being told and programmed that this is the reality, that this is all there is. We're all got that side of ourselves that is struggling with that, and I've been there as well. But I'm just one of I see it as a fortunate one to have so many experiences that I know 100% that there was way more out there. And I suppose to the skeptic, I can only just say this is what my truth is, because I'm not someone who will lie. I'm not after fame. I'm not after money. I'm just saying what it is so that people can expand their consciousness and become better within themselves. And if that's if everything I'm saying is fake and false, well, so be it. I really don't even care if it is. It's helped me and guided me to become a better person, not be so afraid, not be so controlled by the elite and the conditioning of the programs that they put over us. I've realized how much power I have, and I would love it if other people would realize that they are just like me, experiencing the same. I mean, I've sat next to an elder and she's held my hand and talked to me telepathically for over an hour. I've had experiences that are beyond, and I'm so fortunate for it, but I can totally understand too why people would be so skeptical on this. It's just their journey as well. That's their journey, though.
Well, you bring up an entirely different conversation there that we may have to get into at the top of the hour once we come back from break, because for a lot of people, we are very curious about telepathic communication and how is that possible? How are you having that conversation and knowing exactly what the other person is saying?
Yeah, well, it was an incredible experience. The time that it happened was when I was working with her. She was over in Australia and we were doing, presenting a film on remote viewing that she had to watch because she hadn't watched it before, but people were going to ask her questions. So when I don't know if we have enough time. Do we have enough time for this bit of a long story?
Go start it off, and we got about a minute here, and then we got to go to break, and then we can continue it after the break.
Okay, so we were in a theatre, and she said to me, "Hey, Bobbie, here's a seat. You want to sit next to me?" And I'm thinking, yeah, that was organised. I knew she had to watch the movie. But she held my hand and she started breathing funny. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, my God, she's going to fall asleep. And she's going to watch this movie to ask questions on the movie. But, yeah, that was a silly thought. She was tapping into me. And then, lo and behold, I start having this conversation with her within my mind. And I'm as skeptical as anybody out there at this time, thinking, what the heck is going on? But I started telling her about my life story, and then I thought, I need confirmation for this. So I asked her to telepathically to ask me back to America, because I knew she would never do that normally. She doesn't ask people. Yeah.
Right. Well, let's continue this story once we get back from break here, because this sounds like it's going to get very interesting. Very interesting. I love telepathic communication. Wish I could do it myself. Bobbie Richardson is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We got her for another 30 minutes before we get to the news of the night with the SOR Newswire and the thought of the day at the back end of Hour 3. Stay tuned. More Spaced Out Radio right after this.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot THAL. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother is watching.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new, with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Canada's largest UFO conference is ready to roll in Toronto this September 21st and 22nd at the Alien Cosmic Expo. This year is about the experience. Listen to the stories of Dave Scott, Travis Walton, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Ryan Stacey, Richard Dolan, Leslie Mitchell-Clark, and more. Get your tickets now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Hey fans, it's Dave Scott. Do I have something for you to check out? A great documentary about legendary Mexican investigative journalist Jaime Maussan and his search for the truth about UFOs. Beyond the Spectrum, Maussan's UFO files can be found on Amazon Prime. It's free to watch if you're a member. You might even hear me in it. So check out Beyond the Spectrum, only on Amazon Prime.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
From the mile-high mountains of Colorado to all of you around the world, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I invite you to stick around spacedoutradio.com for Saturday and Sunday nights where I host Spaced Out Weekend. Let me take you on a wild ride of weird and strange topics, from ghosts and ETs to remote viewing, psychic phenomena, and so much more. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern Time on Spaced Out Weekend, where we own the night.
On the first Tuesday of every month, I encourage you to come along for a journey with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You. Together, we will take a look at how to access the highest expression of yourself and change your life. Consciousness, ET contact, health, and wellness, we can talk about it all. So come along for a spiritual ride with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You, only on Spaced Out Radio.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is underway. Thank you so much for being with us. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Hi to everyone listening in on WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, down in Dangerfield, Texas, KDNF AM 1560, KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, and in Ridgecrest, California, KZFX 93.7 FM. On the digital side, we're proud to broadcast on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. Good to have you with us. Don't forget, all of our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club: Uranophobia. Uranophobia is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where you can read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, listen to the show live. The Gavinator's going to have new features coming very, very soon. For the final time tonight, we introduce, from Australia, author Bobbie Richardson. Her website, bobbierichardson.com.au, because the Aussies have to put that .au on the end there. And we are going to get into a little bit of telepathy. We started talking about telepathy right before the break. Bobbie, welcome back to the show.
Hi. Yeah, I'll carry on this story, I suppose, of what I was saying about. Yeah. I'm just recapping. Ended up with, I did a lot of work with an elder that actually she she pulled me out of a crowd, and then a year later pulled me out of another crowd and said that she'd be working with me. And her name was Parisha Taylor, grandmother Parisha. And she's had a bit of a bad rap because somebody tried to bring her down, but she's an absolutely incredible person. I learned so much from her, and that was after asking the universe or whatever to give me somebody of high integrity to help me through my path. So we ended up in a auditorium, and she asked me to sit next to her. She put her hand on my hand and then started breathing funny. And when she did, I thought she was falling asleep. We were watching a movie, remote viewing movie. And then as she did that, it was like it's like a connection that happens, and it doesn't come from the mind so much as the heart. It's like a feeling of knowing each other when it happens, and there is no need to worry about, I don't want somebody to know this or somebody to know that. You can still, have enough control over things to not allow people into specific spaces in your mind, because you have control enough to have telepathy. But the connection was incredible. And so for over an hour, this was on and off through this movie. So whenever I went into the story of my own life, and then it flipped into us watching the movie, she happened to have questions asked on that specific part of the movie after when she was doing the talk on the movie. So it was like this beautiful dance of her knowing that she was going to see the exact moments of the movie that she needed to answer the questions later on. And then during this conversation, because my left brain's going, this can't be happening, what the frick, I just don't believe this, really. I asked her to ask me back to America because she said telepathically why, and I said because it's confirmation for me. And I left it at that. She unclenched her hand. I told her my life story. She went and did her talk, and she's an incredible lady. There was even somebody in the audience that didn't have their hand up, and she said to them, you really need to ask me a question. And he goes, yeah, I'm really busting. Where's the toilet? She just knows these things. It was amazing to see her abilities and what she could do. And in the end, after the actual movie had happened, she called her husband over and said, hey, Tony, we want Bobbie to follow us back to America, don't we? And my jaw just dropped. I'm just like, holy shit, this really happened. I really was talking to her telepathically, and she whispered in my ear, it's magical, isn't it? And I'm like, holy crap, okay. And the weird thing was, though, I went back home and I had such a powerful connection with her. My brain's trying to sort this through, and I'm thinking this love feeling that I have for her, this unconditional feeling that we had when we connected. My left brain's going, I'm not in love with an old lady, And I almost had this fight within myself to try to calm myself down. So I can see why we really need a clear mind to be able to handle these new abilities that are coming up, so that we know ourselves, so that we can handle those abilities. But it's absolutely possible, absolutely, for everybody in this world. And I was told that because I was given information about the pineal gland and how it works. And they told me that the pineal gland has these tiny little crystals. Now, I'm not a scientist. I know nothing. I'm just a housewife. But this is what they told me, that the pineal gland has these tiny little crystals in it. And if you've ever seen a person do somatics where they throw salt on a somatic plate and they raise the vibrational sound, the salt will ching into these different mandala patterns. Have you ever seen that, Scott?
No,
Dave?
I have not. No, I have not.
Yeah, it's called somatics. I was led to that after given these messages. Anyway, if you do put salt on a vibrational plate and you up the frequency, it will ching into these different, the salt will go into different mandala patterns, like crop circle type patterns. And what happens is, like, you have the Tibetans that chant, and when they get into a meditative state and they're chanting, those tiny little crystals within that pineal gland will go into a certain frequency of that chant, and they can connect to other dimensions. So there's a lot more to our reality than what we know of, and it's really important. My youngest daughter at the age of 3 told me that part of the clue to that was a thing called Anyon. She said, I know where we go when we die, Mummy. It's a place called Anyon. It's where everything is everything, but we're in our minds now, Mummy, but we're also in Anyon as well. You can look it up, but you have to thank me for this one. And she said she was 4. I thought she was 3. So when she said that, I looked it up, and Anyon is actually a quantum physics particle that resides between matter and light, or fermion and boson. It can flip from one to the other. So I believe that I was told that with the chemical releases of serotonin, melatonin, and then with a beta to food acid, our pineal gland can then yield into the DMT. DMT is released, and when that's released, if we have a very clear mind, and we've got our vibrational pattern set of where our focus is, of where we want to go, we can go anywhere. We can literally travel anywhere, so that was really important information that I was given from these benevolent beings to help us through to the next realities and expanding, to become more of our potential.
What beings were the ones who told you this? And, are they in communication with a lot of human beings?
Well, at that stage, I was connected to the Palladians when I was led down that path. But I was also connecting to Creator, to the Source. And the Source was telling me, I was asking a bit more about our reality and stuff, and they were saying it was likened to a chessboard. And they said, say for instance, a multifaceted chessboard though, but it got smaller as it went up the top, and as our that's a bit hard to describe. But let me say this one: they did tell me that if you can imagine a bright white light, and a person is this bright white light, and then they wanted to experience something within themselves that was different to what their reality was. It's like covering a part of themselves with a black blanket and then pinpricking it with little holes. Each little hole is our stars. This might be really hard for some people to understand, but that we are them and they are us, and that we are just put ourselves in a vibrational blanket of that we can experience a limited self of expression of ourself, so that we can then find our way back to what we truly are, which is just Source. And it's everything. It's everything that's around us. It's the plants. It's the sky. It's the houses. It's everything. It's the negative beings. It's the light beings. We are all of that, and yet we are also individual people experiencing a world of limitedness. so that we can have a story to tell them, I suppose, or to tell us. Yeah.
So on the telepathic front, how does one do that?
Well, for starters, you need to learn to clear your mind. You need to have that stillness within yourself to open up the pineal gland, which is what I was talking about before. So she had that, and I obviously wasn't quite there, so I had a bit of discomfort afterwards, trying to figure it all out, which you can't. You can't logically figure it out. She had learned to still her mind and have balance between a left and a right hemispheres, where her imaginative, intuitive side is just as important. And this is where we've all been programmed to not allow that to be important. This is why there's so many skeptics out there. So once you get those two working together like a yin-yang symbol, the Chinese yin-yang, then we can learn to work with our imagination to shift our reality, and then work with our logicalness to bring it into this existence of ourselves. And she knew how to do that. She could still her mind and connect with whoever, because we're all one. We're all just source. And so she can tap into whatever she likes and feel, and know what I'm saying and what I'm not.
So for
I don't know if that helps. But.
So for people who don't fully understand the pineal gland and its power, where is it? How do we connect to it?
The shame of it is that the powers to be have been putting a lot of fluoride in our waters and the preservatives in our food and the GMOs that are disconnecting us from our natural selves and our pineal glands. A lot of people's pineal glands are actually crystallized over, and with intention, though, anything is possible. So don't be dismayed by that. You can also, to break that up, if you put your tongue on the top of your mouth and you chant to a vibration that feels comfortable with you, focusing on your pineal gland, it can shake it free. You can obviously stop drinking fluoride water and try to live as healthy as you possibly can. But the most important thing is to know that you can clear that pineal gland, and that whatever you do is going to lead you to clearing it. But that will never open. That will never open until the two hemispheres of your brain are at least working together, and that you have that ability to have stillness within yourself. So if you can live completely in the moment, then you have, that's kind of like the keys to the door, is the stillness of the mind. And then the pineal gland is like the lock that you can open the door, and you can go into these different potentials of yourself. And that's all part of becoming more in the fifth dimension, so that we can become more telepathic, telekinetic, and be able to teleport. We can do all of these things once we learn to clear our mind and become more in the moment. Absolutely.
Does one have to be spiritually open to it, or could somebody who is a little bit more closed-minded have the same results?
Well, I think that some children are born with these abilities, and they've been closed over and told it's not going to happen, or whatever, or it's just not part of it. I mean, a child's responsibility is to fit into the environment that it comes into. But a lot of children these days are pushing the boundaries of that. So, yeah, we've all been programmed not to believe this. That's their agenda. If they program us to not to believe this, then we have no power. We give their power up to them. They come up with the same vibrational existence as with telephones and mobile phones and stuff. So it's still the vibrational pattern that's been sent down to earth to heighten our awareness is still happening, but it's all outside ourselves, so they can control us. So you're always going to have skeptical people but if you're skeptical, you're probably not going to be able to tap into it. You need to at least be open to the awareness that is a possibility. That's probably one of the first things you need to do.
Right. So when you are trying to get into that, do you have to be in a meditative state then in order to have that telepathic communication? Or could you be sitting at a restaurant with your best friend and say, sit absolutely quiet, but be having this telepathic conversation while both of you are quite with it outside of meditation?
Yeah, you can definitely do that outside of meditation. Meditation is a great exercise of bringing you into the moment to find that stillness within yourself and control your brain, control your mind, that honestly with most people is controlling them, and to realize that you're creating your own reality. So once you learn the skills of meditation, you don't have to meditate every day. It will become your reality. So you're just completely present at every moment. And when you're present at every moment, you don't have the monkey mind anymore. You don't have that chunk of trying to that's distorting you, of thinking that sorry, I was just thinking of Mario walking past, so I've lost my concentration. Problem is, some of the stuff I'm telling you now, I'm actually channeling through, and so when I'm channeling it through, if something distracts me, I lose it. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. We all know that Mario, your boyfriend, is one hot mother. We know he is one dead sexy man.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, but where was I?
Something about channeling. Either way,
never mind.
We got about 3.5 minutes here as we were talking telepathy with you in regards to if anybody can do that. But it's almost time to make a shift here, because you want to give a shout out to an event you're going to be participating in down under called Paradigm Shift. Tell us about it.
Well, actually, I was a speaker of it last year, and will possibly be bringing out my book next year, hopefully, in the event. But the organisation is happening. It's called the Paradigm Shift, and it's in the Gold Coast at the Mantra on a View, 24th, I think, to 26th of August. And it's just a beautiful man called Anthony O'Flynn has brought together a lot of people to help bring this awareness about that we can shift our reality into something beautiful. And, a lot of speakers he's pulled together. So I just wanted to give him that praise and help him along his way with his beautiful summit.
Oh, no worries. No worries. When is it?
That's the 24th to the 26th of August this year. And I also would like to say that I've got my video, new YouTube's out. For the last 6 weeks, I've been pumping out a lot of information for my new book. And as I do, I'm slowly sifting through things to snippets of it to put on YouTube's. And my next one is about a girl that's in 2082. So I think I might do a premiere YouTube for that, because it's a great story, so that people have focus on where they're going to, instead of listening to, we have to have microchips in our body and we have to be programmed, to become anything powerful, because that's just giving away your power to those elite people again. So I wanted to give others a snippet of the focus that I have of where our potential can actually lead.
Do me a favor, as we got about 90 seconds, let everybody know where your website, YouTube channels, social media, where they can find your books.
Okay, so my books are on my website, www.bobbiericardson.com.au. My Facebook group, I have Codes to a New Reality Facebook group, and obviously under my own name of Bobbie Richardson is another page that I post a lot of stuff out. And I have a YouTube as well that's under my name as well, Bobbie Richardson, so that should be easy to remember. If you type in Bobbie Richardson Mind, then you'll come up with a lot of my stuff. Yeah, thank you for that.
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem. And it's been highly enjoyable to have you back here again for the second time. Last time was about just over a year ago. But it's been a lot of fun, and I appreciate you coming back on the show and breaking down what it's like to communicate with ghosts.
No worries at all. I've really enjoyed myself, and thank you very much for having me on the show. If there's anybody out there that would like me to speak at any other functions, I'm available. But we'll just see how it all flows, and I've got a great life, so whatever happens.
Bobbie Richardson, thank you so much for coming on Spaced Out Radio tonight. Very much appreciated. Coming up next, we have the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day. Lots more coming up right after this.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio listeners, it's Dave Scott. I want you to check out a great documentary I'm involved in called Beyond the Spectrum, Mosson's UFO Files. Directed by Darcy Weir, the film follows Jaime Mosson's journey for mainstream journalistic truth in ufology in Mexico. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon Prime. If you're a member, watch it free. It's worth the watch. Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch. Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today. Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Reminder that if you've missed most of this show or others, you can always go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where the Gavinator is building more features. We'll have them up soon. And up to now, you can read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire and listen to the show live. Speaking of the news, let's get to the weird, the wacky, the WTF, the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the stories that are just a little bit out there, a little bit fun. And then there's this one. So the company Forever 21 has upset a few of its clients. Yeah. Customers claim that the fast fashion retailers included samples of Atkins diet bars along with their recent online orders of plus-size merchandise. Shoppers have been calling out the change over the last few days for the alleged offensive move, which has since sparked widespread outrage on social media, sharing photos of low-carb, lemon-flavored bars along with their purchases. One quote on Twitter from a lady named Jessie: "My mom ordered some clothes from @Forever21's plus-size collection, and they sent an Atkins diet bar along with the stuff she ordered." Yeah. Sending people diet bars, shakes, teas, etc. with clothes they bought can send a negative message about body image, she continued. Yeah. So, apparently, another commenter said, "I went from a size 24 to 18, still a plus-size girl, so I ordered jeans from @Forever21. Open the package. When I look inside, I see this Atkins bar. What are you trying to tell me, Forever21? I'm fat? Lose weight? Do you give these to non-plus-size women as well?" Yeah. Reps for Forever21 did not immediately return any of the media requests for comments of the claims. Officials for the superstore did tell the USA Today, though, that the Atkins bar samples were included in recent orders across all sizes and categories, which has since been removed from distribution. Yeah, one spokesperson said, "From time to time, Forever21 surprises our customers with free test products from third parties in their e-commerce orders. The freebie items in question were included in all online orders across all sizes and categories for a limited time. They have since been removed. This was an oversight on our part. We sincerely apologize for any offense this may have caused to our customers, as this was not our intention in any way." Yes, terrible news. I could use a couple of them Atkins bars. I'm not going to lie. I could lose some weight. Now, speaking of dietary substances, how would you like to go to the supermarket, buy one of those prepackaged salads, find out there's frogs in there? Well, in the summer of 2017, a California woman was about to take a first bite of her salad when she realized that a tiny frog was hanging out in her bowl of spring mix. She immediately ran to the bathroom and threw up. Becky Garfinkel said that she bought the bagged salad mix from Target, and after she shared the incident on social media, the store offered her a $5 gift card. As for the frog, Garfinkel's husband rinsed the salad dressing off its tiny body and gave it a reassuring massage. Instead of releasing him or her into their yard, they created a frog-friendly terrarium, bought some takeout crickets, sent them up in the frog's new home. They even named him Lucky, because what else would you call a frog who nearly escaped the business end of a salad fork? Garfinkel's frog is included in a new study published by a University of Illinois postdoctoral researcher, a first-of-its-kind analysis of the number of vertebrates, live, dead, or in pieces, that have been found in fresh bagged or canned produce in the last 15 years. Yeah, lead author Daniel Hughes says there has been reports of at least 40 such incidents since 2003. 30 of those incidents involved amphibians and reptiles, but 6 rodents, 3 birds, and 1 Brazilian free-tailed bat have also been discovered in assorted forms of produce. Goes on to say, I started looking out of curiosity, saving links to articles, people finding frogs in their salad. Within a couple of months, I had this long list. I realized there's something more going on here than we've been led to believe. Every article I clicked on claimed it was super rare, but when you're looking at 25 of those incidents, it doesn't sound that rare to me. He goes on to say, it was implied over and over in these articles, if you buy organic, get a frog, is par for the course, essentially. If that was true, we should have seen the opposite of what we found. We did not take into account market share differences between conventional and organic produce, but this result ran contrary to common opinion. I got to ask this. If they're packaging, I realize they don't have, probably too many people on the packaging line anymore because everything is so modernized. But would you not notice a frog in your lettuce? Would you not notice some sort of reptile or amphibian or bat in the produce? Who's checking these? Is anybody checking these? I don't know. I mean, it can't be healthy, especially when the frog or the amphibian is feeding off of it, number one, and number two, going to the bathroom on it. Makes me suspect. Makes me suspect. It's kind of gross, though. All right, here's a weird story out of Huron, Ohio. Authorities have shut down a Lake Erie beach after a second swimmer has disappeared in less than a month. Officials in Huron say Nickel Plate Beach will be closed until further notice while the city looks into ways to improve safety at the beach about 50 miles west of Cleveland. Huron City Manager Andy White says high water levels and strong winds have been creating dangerous conditions. Search crews have been looking for a 29-year-old woman who was swimming with her family on Sunday when she went under. Earlier this month, an 18-year-old man drowned while helping a group struggling in the water. 4 people have died at the beach since 2002 as they were rescuing a woman caught in a strong current. I'm going to claim bull sharks on this one. It's always bull sharks. They can survive in fresh water. Don't know how, but they can. That's just scary stuff. See, this is why I don't do the beach. Everybody, go to Mexico, or Hawaii, or California to the beach, or Florida to the beach. Why? People drown. People get eaten by sharks. Water's dangerous. I would sooner lose my bank account in Vegas than drown or get eaten by a shark. That just doesn't sound pleasant to me. Vegas it is. Marty? We're going for dinner. Hey, let's head to Beverly Hills, where deep sea explorer, the dude who discovered the wrecked Titanic, is tackling an aviation mystery. Amelia Earhart's disappearance. Robert Ballard and a National Geographic expedition will search for her plane next month near a Pacific Ocean atoll that's part of the Phoenix Islands. Earhart and her navigator Fred Noonan were attempting an around-the-world flight when their aircraft disappeared in July 1937, spawning years of searches, speculation, and conspiracy. Ballard and his team will remotely operated underwater vehicles in their search, the National Geographic Channel said Tuesday. An archaeological team will investigate a potential Earhart campsite with search dogs and DNA sampling. The channel will air 2 one-hour specials on October 20th, Expedition Amelia, which includes clues gathered by the International Group of Historic Aircraft Recovery that led Ballard to the atoll named Nikumaroro. That's kind of fun. You know, I hope they actually find her. I mean, this is like almost going on 80 years that we've been looking for her. It'd be kind of cool if we found her, don't you think? Let's hope. And one of those world mysteries. Let's head over to Area 51. Yeah. Apparently a small secretive airbase that sits on the southeastern edge of the Yucca Dry Lake, deep inside the Nellis Air Force Range, called Area 6. Has drawn a lot of interest over the better part of a decade for those who keep tabs on Area 51 and across the sprawling airbase. The installation has become a regular location to pull out satellite imagery from providers like Google Earth. So far, the photos of this shadowy facility have been limited entirely from space, that is, until now. So what's there? Well, let's find out, shall we? Apparently, this is a drone site. The company who installs many of the so-called tension membrane clamshell hangars and structures that dot military bases across the U.S. and beyond had posted it prominently on their website. Among the photos of other projects, it is unclear how the pictures have been on the company website and how long they've been there, but it just took the right person with familiarity of the base and its unique layout to point it out. Oh, the mysteries are solving. They got a long runway there, too. Long runway. So, what we've been able to discover is the base is used as a test site for modifications, sensor development, and a unique payload integration work above medium-sized drones like the MQ-9 Reaper. possibly smaller ones as well. Reapers have been seen fairly routinely in satellite imagery. There are other far less remote sites that deal with similar tasks, but this installation, buried deep within the restricted airspace and terrain of the Nellis Air Force Range, provides a place of flight test for more exotic and classified modifications, sensor systems, and payloads away from prying eyes. Yeah, because, the Russians and the Chinese, they don't have satellites flying over. They don't know this stuff. Really? So roughly 6 to a dozen aircraft are thought to be based there, along with a light manned aircraft that provides chase duties for test flights. The facility, which sports a 5,000-foot long by 75-foot wide runway, doesn't serve a single military branch. It provides support across the Department of Defense, federal agencies, and for the CIA's expansive drone fleet. Okay. So now we know where the drones are. Now, just show us the aliens. Oh, I guess we'll find out September 20th. All right. Over in New York, there's a bed and breakfast that says it's offering the latest in relaxation. Cow cuddling. Apparently, this is big in Europe as a stress relief technique, especially in the Netherlands. Yeah, the Dutch. Always the Dutch when it comes to cattle. Suzanne Vollers, owner of the Mountain Horse Farm in upstate New York, says she has been offering horse therapy sessions at the bed and breakfast for years, but a recent trip home to the Netherlands inspired her to add a cow cuddling session to her repertoire. Cows have this wonderful quality that when they are processing their food, they like to lay down. They become really quiet, and it's a beautiful opportunity to connect with them, she says. Voller goes on to state the sessions, which are scheduled around the cow's natural feeding habits, can serve as an alternative for people who find they have a hard time staying still or focusing during meditation. Cows have a slightly slower heart rate, and just feeling that from them makes you react to that and makes you slow down too. And because you're doing that in nature, it's really, really quiet. No bull, apparently. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that. Cows are unpredictable. Lots of flies, too. Who wants to be cuddling up to a cow in a pasture? You don't even have a tail to, whip the flies, and the cow's not going to help you out with that. And if you bring a fly swatter and you smack the cow, well, that may upset it. It may get up, and cuddle time is over. Then you just wasted your money. Got time for one more. Let's head back up here to Canada. We've been following this murder mystery about these two young men who are now expected to be charged with second-degree murder, plus more. Yeah, there's a nationwide manhunt after the discovery of 3 bodies. And Cam McLeod, 19 years old, Briar Schmigelski, 18, have officially been charged by the RCMP with the second-degree murder in the death of the 3rd body that was found, a gentleman who has been identified as Leonard Dick. Yeah, he was found in Dease Lake, British Columbia. That's about 5, 6, 7 hours north of where we broadcast. As a result of the charges, Canada-wide warrants have been issued for McLeod and Schmigelski. Yeah, they're on the lam. They're believed to be in northern Manitoba somewhere, where recently they found the burnout car that they got there on an Indian reserve. Now, there's a lot going on here because they don't know where these guys are. They don't know how they got there that far. There are some tips out there. They're wondering if they're heading to Ontario or heading up north, maybe back to BC. We're going to keep an eye on this story because this is just way too real. Oh, Schmigelski's father, Alan, said his son and McLeod were disappointed with working at Walmart, their first jobs, and they decided to head off in search of something better up north. He says he expects the manhunt to end with the death of his son. He's on a suicide mission, he said. Wants to end his pain. This could get ugly. It could get ugly real fast. Let's hope everybody turns up safe and no more death involved. Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air, because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Dave is as follows. What personal ghostly encounter changed your life? Let's start with Maureen. I'm sure I will regret sharing this, but here goes. The house I grew up in was haunted by a spirit that used to pace the floors, look at me through the shower door, and even called my name once. I was afraid to go to sleep every night and still have nightmares about that house. John. When I was meditating, I heard a voice with my ears. I was alone, and it only spoke 4 words, which related to a topic I'd been discussing with a friend. I heard it as clearly as I hear anyone else say anything. It's been over 20 years ago, and I still ponder the ramifications. Goddess Michelle. I was in my 20s and experienced ghosts all my life. A friend was with me, and he knew I was seeing something. He held my hand. What he did, he could see the spirit of a little girl. I, at that moment, received my very first confirmation that it wasn't all in my head. Well, that's a good one. William. Incident that happened to me in the Army while stationed in Korea. Man, was it spooky. Well, I'd like to know more. You got to fill me in on that one, William. Roy. While in boot camp, I was pulled out of bed the exact time that my pops passed back home from cancer. Pulled off the top bunk, but landed so softly. Michael. Piano played at the Haunted Collector pub on the New South Wales border. Ooh, that'd be interesting. K28. I saw the ghost of a little girl floating horizontally face down above my wife in bed while sleeping. I could see the ghost girl's robe flowing as if in a breeze. I got out of bed and walked around it. It did not notice me as I got up close to it. It was translucent white. John. Saw a lot of things as a child. From what I'm seeing every night, I saw and heard things I was sure, number 1, were ghosts. Number 2, wanted to do harm. Spent many nights hiding under the covers, unsure I would survive until morning. Eventually, you learn to stand up to your fears with a defiant grin. My tinfoil hat. In general, I don't believe in ghosts or poltergeists. However, when I first moved into my current house, I had an experience. Wife went to the store. I was taking a shower. Door handle rattles. Ask the wife what she needs. No answers. Rattles again. Again, no answer. Get out. Open the door. Nobody was there. House was empty. And the wife says it wasn't her. Carl. Different Carl. Co-worker and I sitting in front of a machine at a factory. I saw a black mass pass quickly by the stairs. I asked him if he saw something without saying what it was. He said, something black just went by the stairs. We're going to leave it right there on the Thought of the Day. Thank you for everybody participating. We'll do it all again tomorrow on Facebook and Twitter. Hopefully we'll read your responses on the air. Big thanks to Bobbie Richardson for coming on in, talking about ghosts and her communication. We had a lot of fun with that. Big thanks to Captain Shirk for putting the SOR Newswire together. We're going to do it all again tomorrow as well. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot THAL rocking in the background with Little Brother Is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, in your cars, at work, in our chat rooms, on Twitter, at hashtag Spaced Out Radio, wherever you may be. Please remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for deciding to spend your evening with us. We had a lot of fun because together, my friends, we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. We'll chat soon, everybody. Good night.